that problem. Our topic for today, who gets the Montserrado County Senate seat? That is what we are discussing. And if there is anywhere you would rather be, the hour of politics should be your place right now because we are in a political season. All the actors are active, but the most active of all is Montserrado County. There where the action is, a guy called Dillion the Light. He is in the race for that Montserrado County seat that he grabbed in 2019. He believes that he's going to hold on to it. Seditions are coming from the opposite side. They are saying, no, it's not going to happen this time around. Maybe the first time we had a weaker candidate, maybe things were not going our way that time. We got one of our own, the strongest among us, one of our giants is here. His name is Thomas Fallah, and he can get the job done for us. Well, let's get started. First thing, folks, I want to say thank you all for joining me. Our topic, who gets the Montserrado County Senate seat? Dillion? I'm talking to you. You think who's going to get it? You think Dillion? Well, I'm going to do what I always try to do here. And then as you leave from here, maybe you will be able to tell who gets that seat. Who is Thomas Fallah? Let's get started with that, right? Who is Thomas Fallah? Thomas Fallah is what somebody will call a traditional and long-standing citizen who excites his base. He has been in the House of Legislature as a representative for the longest you can think. Since 2005, Fallah have been in that house. He won 2005, he won 2011, and he won 2017. This guy has pulled through 3 times. I can't think of any lawmaker in the house who has done that other than Thomas Fallah. I'm not saying others have not done it, but I know for a fact that Fallah did it. And in Liberia, to have somebody to win 3 times, that is profound. Believe it or not, there might have been something about this person. There is something that he might be doing in his constituencies, for which he has been elected 3 solid times in Liberia, where you see that somebody is elected a year after he's kicked out. This guy managed to pull through 3 times. There is something about him. I don't know it. I'm not trying to suggest to you that this guy is the best lawmaker that we have. And by the way, I have not heard this guy's name as much as I'm hearing now. Not until, he's on the ballot now for the Montserrado County Senate seat. Not much I heard about him. No, not at all. And so I can't sit here and say that this guy, he is everything in what you want in a lawmaker. No, I don't have that fact. I don't have that record. I don't have that knowledge to share with you. But what is profound that you must understand that you cannot dismiss for a Liberian politician to win 3 times in our country, not anywhere but Monrovia or in Montserrado County. That is profound. And so he should not be dismissed. That is why Dillion, the light, has a lot of work to do here. I know Senator Dillion has said he's going to win. And I'm not saying I'm doubting him, but he has somebody to contend with. That is something I can say. He definitely has somebody to contend with. I spoke to somebody who told me, if you look at the percentage in terms of winning, that person said he gave Thomas Fallah 60 and he gave Dillion 40. I'm like, really? The other person told me I'm even giving Thomas Fallah 70% chance of winning, and I'm giving Dillion 50%, or 30% chance of winning. You want to know my percentage? Let me finish with my analysis, and then you will be able to tell, and I don't necessarily have to be the one to tell you. And so, folks, let's get started here. Dillion is the darling of the CPP. Dillion has behind him the entire CPP. That's 4 political parties supporting him. So it's no secret that Dillion won in the faction that he did in 2009 because 4 parties supported him. Besides that, Dillion, has carried himself responsibly as a politician. He came up with a message. He came the right time. In politics, timing matters. In politics, timing matters. So Dillion came in at the right time when everybody in the country, all right, everybody was more like disgusted with the entire national legislature. And Dillion found that right message. And he stepped in and he was able to capture the hearts and minds of our people. Even sedition themselves voted for him. But let's move forward here quickly. Let us see why the reason that Dillion whipped Pauletta Weir. Let's look at that. That is very significant. And if we look at that, and if we understand that, and we look at Thomas Fallah's strength, maybe we will be able to tell how things going to turn out. So let's look at reason why Dillion won Pauletta Weir in a faction that remains outstanding to today's date. First of all, at the time Dillion came, you heard me saying that Tammy is right? Dillion came in at the time sedition themselves were disgruntled, were disenchanted. You heard that word so many times, right? Disenchanted seditions. In fact, there was this group of seditions that classified themselves as disenchanted seditions. At some point, they even protested. They went to the president's office there at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where the president's office is right now, and they protested. And they called themselves disenchanted sedition. During that time, seditions were disenchanted to the core. There were many reasons why seditions were disenchanted. Many of them at the time had not been factored into the government. Many of them at the time had not been factored into the government. There are prominent seditions during that time whose sedition expected to have been in government that did not get into government at the time. And the other seditions were relying on these leaders getting into government so that they themselves will be able to ultimately find a way into government. Connection works. But that did not happen. So seditions were disqualified. They even went as far as saying that the government at the time was dominated by unity party partisan. In other words, by opposition. That was the believed seditions core at the time. And the anger was excessive. More besides, during that time when Dillion came in, the $16 billion noise was all around. Everybody had gotten angry, all right? And people wanted answers. People wanted those who were responsible for the missing $16 billion to be held accountable. But they were not seeing that level of accountability that they were so tested for. And more to that, there was the $25 million map of SSI noise. And this time around, because of the $16 billion, the exchange rate has skyrocketed. Prices was all going up. Even sedition themselves were more angry than even the opposition. So the opposition had these issues unifying them in a formidable faction. And so when Dillion got in the race, Dillion became that unifying element of the opposition political parties. The opposition wanted to vent their anger. They wanted to send out a message to the president, to the government, on the 16 billion, on the 25 million. And you know that there was the bring our money back, campaign, there was a protest, all right? And then the $16 billion protest of June 7 came in. And so all these things had turned the political climate against the CDC. The CDC was like somebody sticking their hands in, the CDC face. That's how it was looking at the time. So that was when Dillion came into the picture. People were angry with the president. People were angry with CDC. Rightfully so, people were angry with the government. There was like hell has broken loose at the time in the country. And Dillion came in with that message. And he pointed his finger at the Senate. He said, the Senate is the problem. This place is dark. And so when he got on that ticket, though President Weah has raised the hand of Paulita Weah, that was not enough. In fact, let's look at the Weah Paulita Weah relationship. Let me make it juicy here a little bit, okay? Rumors highlight that Paulita Weah is in some form of quasi relationship with the president. Seditionists were already angry that many of their leaders were not into government. They were pissed with the president. They were unhappy with their government. They were protesting as well. Mamba Money was sending lays here and there. Some of those names were being turned down. At some point at the central bank, after CDC sent a huge list and people got hired, when the international community came in and said, no, this is not going to work, acrimony was within the CDC. So, folks, Dillion could not have come at a much better time than 2019, when all was stuck against the CDC. President Weah, his favorability, the love sedition had for him, had diminished to the point that they protested against him. Not any other place but at his office. And so the CDC didn't have it. CDC was confused. The leaders were in disarray. And then the election came and they said they were using Paulita Weah, making a juice again, who had some kind of relationship, it's been rumored, with the president. So CDC said, oh, there he goes again. There he goes again. Our leaders are not in government. Paulita really had a job. She is your somehow, something. She is probably your little ice cream. And then she is the one you putting on a ballot. When in fact you have appointed her, you're making a decision as though she does not have a job. Really? President Weah, this is the best you can do? So CDC said, no, we're not taking it. So CDC, seditions, some of them, a good number of them, especially those in Montserrado County, in conjunction or in collaboration with the opposition, unconsciously went into the election to send a message to President Weah. And that is why Paulita Weah got beaten to the core. Sedition felt betrayed at the time. They too, like the opposition, wanted to send a message to President Weah. And there comes Dillion, sailing on the anger, on the pain, on the frustration of not only seditions, but also the masses who felt betrayed. Because remember, President Weah told them, I will not let you down. At that time period, the fair Weah had let them down. That Weah could not hold people accountable on the $16 billion. He could not hold Samuel Tuer accountable on the $25 million. Prices were in the roof. Transportation had gone up. The price of basic commodity everywhere. The president has even released a laundry list from the Commerce Ministry for basic commodity prices. And yet, those prices could not hold. There was no price control. Where else could the people have channeled their anger and their frustration and their pains other than going to the ballot to send out a message? So many seditionists have left CDC. They have left the CDC. They were like, oh, I don't think this is what we voted for. So we're going to send a message to the president. Seditionists themselves went everywhere and said they were going to vote for Dillion. Some of them even campaigned for Dillion behind the curtains. Some of them even said that Dillion was going to win. Some of them refused to vote. They were pissed with the idea that their leaders were not in government. And President Weah had the audacity to bring his so-called, as it was described, his ice cream and put her on a ticket when their leaders were trying to get into government, when the government was flooded with opposition figures, they claimed at the time. So Dillion came in that time with the right message and sailed cleverly on the anger and the pains of the masses and seditions. So it was no secret that Dillion won in a faction that remains outstanding today. Making progress. Reason why Dillion won decisively. A bigger and stronger dissatisfaction in the country that I just explained. A considerably unified opposition was also behind Dillion. The opposition, like I said earlier, the entire opposition bloc unified behind Dillion. Dillion also was seen as an outsider. Everybody, most people in Monrovia, in Montserrado County, they were mad with the government. They were angry with the president. They were not happy with the CDC. They were angry with government as a whole. All the government officials were being condemned in every faction, manner, and forms by the people. And so the last thing they wanted at that time was to see an individual already in the very government they are holding responsible for their pains and frustration to come on the ballot. No, that's not what they wanted. And that is why Paulita Weah unfortunately got latches that she would never forget in her lifetime. She was whooped by Dillion. And that was a message from the masses. And that is why you don't take the masses for granted. Dillion's message resonated with the people because of all that. But the question now is Dillion being viewed today as he was being viewed yesterday? Can we see Dillion as the outsider that we saw yesterday? Do the masses see Dillion as the outsider that they saw yesterday? Can they? What is your answer? Do you think Dillion is an outsider now? Dillion is in the Senate. Dillion is one of those who told the $6,500. Prince Johnson came back and said he did not tell the truth. It was actually $8,000. Dillion, prior to going into the Senate, said that he was never going to take a $40,000 car. Dillion took the car. His supporters pleaded with him not to take the car. He said no. He justified that the car was heavily procured by the former Senator Jerry Doe Sheriff. And so that was a justification that he needed to take the car. So people were like, oh, Dillion, you are eating your words here. And then the $6,500 story that he took, even though he exposed it, some people gave him credit, some people did not buy it. And so the $40,000 car The $6,500 that he told that he should not have taken. And so people are now taking a different look at Dillion. So some people are not in love with Dillion, politically speaking, as they were prior to him getting elected and even when he got elected. So Dillion has been able to pick up some things that he can be criticized for. So the question is Dillion being viewed yesterday as today? I think you would say no. And here's the other factor. Seditions who have abandoned the CDC because of all the reasons that are listed or narrated earlier, who were in Dillion's camp to send a message to the president and the CDC and the government, because Dillion's $6,500 issue for taking that money, the very sedition criticized the very Dillion for the $40,000 car. Sedition themselves want a good government. It's just that they are pretentious, which is unfortunate on some of them parts. But there are seditions, I can tell you, who wants the best for Liberia. There are seditions who want the best for Liberia, who today, like you, believe that this government is not doing good enough. But some sedition have to go home because of few things that Dillion contradicted himself on. So those seditions have gone home. Another factor is that the very opposition bloc that Dillion is a member of, the disenchanted seditions, some of them were more than determined to leave. In fact, some of them have left. To today, they left. They want to be somewhere politically. The question is the CPP that Mr. Dillion belongs to, is the CPP opening their arms? How well does the CPP welcome seditions who don't want to be with the CDC anymore, or independent, who don't want to be with the CDC or want to be with the CPP? The CPP does not open your arms. Stop pretending, CPP folks. If you opening your arm, it must be communicated. You must be able to reach out. They are now reaching out. So what is happening is that sedition who would rather not be with CDC are like, okay, we can't go to the CPP because they put every sedition in a single box and nail them. Seditions are this, seditions are that, seditions are this, seditions are that. They can't be trusted. And the only crime seditions have committed in their entire life was to first become sedition and also support President Weah. Politics, sometimes I really don't understand. That is their crime. Do I agree with CDC in a manner and factions in the sycophantic manner that they praise their government in the midst of economic misery? Hell no. Hell no. With my conscience. No. No. I look at the prices. I look at the cost of transportation. I'm looking at the exchange rate. I'm looking at the budget. In the budget, 1,000 United States dollars for youth rehabilitation center. 2020-2021 budget, folks. 1,000 United States dollars. 1,000. I'm not saying 100,000. 1,000 United States dollars. Budgeted youth rehabilitation. The president won because majority of the youth voted for him. And so you think a budget will have in it at least 1 million or 2 million or more for youth rehabilitation. The president budget is 10 million plus. He does not go, he does not have to travel now because of COVID-19, and yet he gets 10 million bucks. Youth rehabilitation. When we say youth rehabilitation, we're talking about youth in the country who need to be rehabilitated. Everybody talk about zogos. And that 1,000 United States dollars you budgeted in the budget, and you call yourself a pro-poor president, you call yourself a pro-poor government, folks. So the thing is, these are the things that are happening, that started happening, that continue to happen, for which Dillion was favored by the people. So making progress, Dillion is not being viewed as the Dillion of yesterday. The CPP is not opening its arms to sedition who don't want to be part of CDC, neither independent people. They need to communicate it. They need to reach out to these people. They're not doing it. They feel that they are sufficient. They are all powerful. They know it all. The Unity Party folks, the Liberty Party folks, the ALP folks, what's the other party? All right. So these people are not reaching out. But that's their right, though. So let me progress. But the reason I have to point that out is when you are in a political context, it is about number. It is about number. And you want to reach out to get all the numbers that you can get to win. Has his personal morale as the light pay a dividend? Yes, Dillion personal morale as the light has paid a dividend for him politically, and that's how he won anyway. But is that dividend percentage as high as it was? Is Dillion able to grow that? How can he grow that? And you must understand, Dillion is not the only person running for the Senate on a CPP ticket this time around. That is profound. Dillion is not the only one running on the CPP ticket this time around. No, Dillion is not the only one. Dillion is not the only one. The CPP have multiple candidates now in this by-election that is coming. So it is not that everybody messaging for Dillion. Individual senators have gone their way to contest in their various races. And so Dillion now has more or less become this one-man army with his supporters. And also, does Dillion have any legislative accomplishments? Does Dillion have any legislative accomplishment that he can point to, that I did this, I did this? No. Dillion has zero legislative accomplishment. I know this one is a debate. Say, oh, look at that guy here. Look at that guy, don't let Dillion. Oh, the man here now, I think he's sedition. But I will confuse you people. I'm on no side. Dillion has zero legislative accomplishment. Dillion waited more than a year before he could submit a bill. And he's submitting a bill now because there is election tomorrow. When he came in, when he had that political favorability in the roof, that was the time, in my opinion, Dillion should have submitted the bill that he just submitted. And he should have been able to navigate with a colleagues to get it passed. Because the senators themselves, they too were tested for a better image. They didn't have it. Dillion was the only one who had it. So he could use that political capital that he gained to work with his friends to get this bill passed. Because the biggest thing that Dillion exposed at the time that he promised and later exposed was lawmaker making around $15,000. And so when he got there, when he exposed it, everybody was like, wow, this guy is the man. This is the light for truth. That was the time he's supposed to roll in. The bill that he is rolling in now almost a year after. Now, his friends got something on him. Now, Dillion was so favored, even by sedition that, that Abochie, the pro-tem, do you know, you heard about that, right? Abochie contributed financially to Dillion's campaign. Abochie is a sedition. He's a CDC lawmaker. The pro-tem, he gave Dillion money when Dillion contested the last time. This is how profoundly seditions and even leaders in the CDC, some behind the curtains, were in Dillion corner because they were not happy with President Weah. These are the many reasons, added to Dillion's own clever politicking and tapping on the anger of the people that got him to have sailed through smoothly to the Senate seat. Those factors, 50% are still around. 50% is still around, sorry. 50% of those factors still around. But 50%, in my opinion, has disappeared. Not in Dillion's favor. That is why this race, Dillion needs to work overtime. He is not the only candidate for the CPP. There are some messengers who were in Dillion's corner who are no longer there. Don't forget that. There were messengers who were in Dillion's corner who are no longer there. But let me come to Thomas Fallah a little bit, because some people might say, okay, this guy here is campaigning against Dillion. No, I'm not campaigning against Dillion. I am providing for you a succinct political analysis of the race. Things that you need to know. Things that may suggest to you the probability of a Dillion win versus that of Thomas Fallah, a traditional sedition. So let me come to Thomas Fallah. And in this segment, I will be telling you reasons why Dillion should worry about Thomas Fallah. Thomas Fallah is a traditional sedition. Unlike Dillion, Thomas Fallah has social development projects in his district that he can point to. And those are some of the reasons his constituents voted for him 3 solid terms. So that group that have voted for him 3 times, they will still vote for him again. There's a reason they have trusted him with their votes for 3 times. And now that he's going for a different seat, and now that he's spending more money than ever before, Fallah is dishing out money than he has ever done in any election that he has won. He is embarking on projects in a faction that is like all over the place that he has ever done. And yet, though he spent less in previous elections, he won because of social development projects that he had carried on. Those projects are still there, and he's spending more money now than he has ever done before. He has CDC unified behind him. CDC is pushing him. They are calling him the sun. You know, the light, which Dillion represents, comes from the sun, right? Light. It is the sunlight. Scientists were able to replicate, to manufacture the light that Dillion represents, the light that we use in our various homes. You know, the sun provides lights on the earth. And so, because darkness can be in our homes, scientists said, well, there got to be a way. because the sunlight might not be able to go in every hole. And from the idea of the sun, they produce the light. CDC is telling you Fallah is the sun. That's what they are saying. That symbol, that symbolism, if you like, the light, was a powerful message. People tend to, overlook these things. That symbol, light, meant so much to the voters. The voters had agreed that the place was dark. So somebody need to carry the light there. So to sedition, the sun is powerful. The sun illuminates the earth, just as the moon will illuminate the earth in the night, and then there is day. So CDC seditions are saying Thomas Fallah is the sun. They said CDC people who voted for Dillion, someone who voted for Dillion telling you we got the sun is greater than the light. It is a confirmation that they have come home. They are unified behind Thomas Fallah. And I told you, Thomas Fallah has zero money problem. This guy gave $1 million Liberian dollars for the late Youngblood's burial. $1 million Liberian dollars. And there's rumor that CDC has decided that they will spend any amount of millions to regain their seat. And the voters are hungry. The voters are hungry. There is no history in Liberia where lawmakers deliver for the people. So the people are accustomed to telling them, what do I get now? Because when you get in the house, you will turn your back. And the people have lived it, and they have that experience. You can't convince them with promises. No. So they always want to know, what do I get? And cash violence has been introduced by Thomas Fallah and the CDC. They're spending money everywhere, dishing out cash. Sir Joseph used that same cash violence. Man was dishing money out here and there. What happened? Sir Joseph won. He was a sedition. He is a sedition. He ran as a sedition. Thomas Fallah too is using the same cash violence. He is a sedition. Unlike Sir Joseph, he had had 3 victories politically in terms of election. And in all those elections, he didn't use cash violence as he's using now. So there is no reason to discount him. No, don't do that. The law should not do that. The law needs to go out. Now, the law is raising money. Thomas Fallah is not raising money. He got the money in his pocket, folks. Thomas Fallah got the money in his pocket. He's using it to his advantage. With a unified CDC behind him. They see him as a traditional sedition. He is not the Pauletta Weah who was on the ballot. They saw Pauletta Weah as, some kind of ice cream for President Weah. He was not their candidate. Some way, somehow, she got on the ballot. They were dissatisfied. But Thomas Fallah, that is their guy. The name they call him, T5. Parading around with university that he built, that one is your cookie for you to eat. So, and then CPP is not supporting Dillion financially. Do you know of CPP? CPP does not have money. In the CPP, the rumor is that my good friend Elizana Cummings is the one who has some money. You think Mr. Cummings is going to put $1 million into Dillion's campaign? I don't know. But the fact is, the CPP is not supporting Dillion financially. Dillion is relying on his grassroots organization from his voters, his supporters, who will give $5, $6, here and there, $10, $50. That's why he's counting on. So Dillion is behind in terms of the game. He's behind. Dillion is behind here financially. What Thomas Fallah is like 10 steps ahead of him. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen Robert Selly spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. He got flogged. I've seen Clemency Ure spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. He got flogged. What's his name? Vani Shema spent millions. He got flogged. I'm not naive. I'm not telling you that because Thomas Fallah is spending all the money, so I mean it's a foregone conclusion he's going to win. I'm only telling you, do not dismiss that. Sir Joseph did it and he won. Sir Joseph did just a minute portion of that and he won. Sir Joseph is doing quadruple of that. So do not eliminate that possibility. That is why my friend Dillion needs to double his game. Let's look at messengers for the two groups or the two containers. Who are their messengers? Who is in Dillion or who are in Dillion's corner? Who are the people that are propagating for Dillion? Who are the people that are propagating for Dillion? Dillion, in my opinion, is more like a one-man army in the race. He goes live. He does well with a podcast. He has a lot of followers. He has a lot of supporters. He has a strong grassroots organization on the ground. Dillion is a candidate, a formidable one. I definitely agree. But he's been dominated here in terms of the money. Money can win election all the time. And I said that, and you know it. But this may be different. This may be different for the reason that I explained earlier. So here is other factors. Who are Dillion messengers? Mr. Costa is the one who has the biggest microphone, we would say, in the Liberian political terrain. He's in Dillion's corner. He did it before. He's doing it. That is applause for Dillion. But that election that Dillion won, we have Mark Jabate, who propagated for Dillion. We have Chris Montserrado, who propagated for Dillion. These two individuals have left Dillion. This is a confirmation of how many persons have left Dillion. We only know two Facebook politicians who left Dillion, who campaigned for Dillion. Chris Montserrado was even being referred to as the senator friend. I believe that he was induced by the CDC to come home with money. Yes, I believe that. Christmas, we send you an invite. You need to come here, so we'll talk about it, my friend. Mike Jabate also has agreed to come and focus on Liberia. Maybe by Saturday he will be here. I also believe Mike Jabate was induced financially. We can talk about the morality aspect here and there. But the fact is, Dillion has completely lost 2 full soldiers that he had in his corner. So the question is, how many of those that we don't know that are not in Dillion's corner? We can dismiss Man Jabate, we can dismiss Christmas or Saleh, but the thing is symbolism. Christmas Saleh has been a sedition who have left the CDC. He was campaigning. He was like an opposition, not like he was an opposition to his party. He campaigned for Dillion. He had to convince, lot of young seditions who voted for Dillion. Because he has left Dillion camp and gone to CDC, whatever you say about him, there are some friends, there are some young people who follow him. Who can say if Chris Montserrado can leave Dillion and is not campaigning for Dillion and will not vote for Dillion, I too will not vote for Dillion. So when I told you earlier that seditions have come home, Chris Montserrado represents that confirmation. Mark Jabate represents also that confirmation of individuals who may not have been part of any party but propagated for Dillion, but for some reason now have decided not to be in Dillion's corner. Another thing you need to know, Dillion at the time he won, he got DJ Blue. He got DJ Blue support. Hello? Dillion had DJ Blue support. DJ Blue is no longer supporting Dillion. DJ Blue is now supporting Thomas Fallah. Mind you, DJ Blue went against Sir Joseph. DJ Blue came second in that election. DJ Blue has endorsed Thomas Fallah. The guy who came second to Sir Joseph, who won then, has now endorsed Thomas Fallah. The people that voted for DJ Blue, many of them will have reason to vote for Thomas Fallah. You see? That is why my analysis here is to suggest to you that Dillion should not consider this election to be won already. I'm saying to you, it's different this time around. You have a unified CDC behind a traditional sedition. You have a candidate that has so much money to spend and is spending it. You have seditions that have come home. You have individuals who supported Dillion who are not in Dillion corner anymore. In fact, let me put my Pekin George Lobo on the spot. George Lobo, I hope you're hearing me, and then you will be able to join me here quickly. I will soon be going to my line here. George Lobo, I like that guy. That guy propagated for Dillion. He's not against Dillion. He is not against Dillion. But I have not heard him preaching the same message he did preach for Dillion. You remember when people were saying, the sedition were saying to Dillion, oh, that Facebook voters and Facebook politicians, though people are not voters, they can't vote, right? What happened at the time? That's how CDC dismissed Dillion. Called him Facebook politician. His supporters were in America. His supporters are only on Facebook. Dillion flogged the CDC massively. For which today the CDC, when they see Dillion, they almost like want to eat him raw because he disgraced them in that election. They underestimated him. He was a Facebook politician. He has no relevance. His voters were only on Facebook because the opinion poll on Facebook was showing that Dillion. So it's the same today. These Facebook politicians, Chris Montserrado, Man Jabate, some we may not know, my man George Lobo, who is not against Dillion. Let me emphasize that he is not against Dillion. I think if George Lobo had an opportunity to vote, I think he would cast a ballot for Dillion. But the fact that he is yet to get on the campaign trail for Dillion means that Dillion does not have the massive support that he had when he ran the last time. And so he needs to work on that. He needs to place a phone call to individuals. What happened? Why couldn't Dillion prevent this Chris Montserrado and Man Jabate thing? Why is individuals not propagating for Dillion as much as before? I'm not saying Dillion does not have organization. Dillion has a group supporting him. They will never leave him. I personally believe Dillion is an excellent candidate. He's not perfect, but he's an excellent candidate. We look at our political dynamics, the candidates in the race, how they stand on the issue, how they communicate, what they bring to the debate. Dillion is by far one of the excellent candidates for now. That is what I believe. And that is why I'm warning him to not take this election lightly. This is not the easy ride he had the last time. One more factor is the Azevag Tuba factor. Azevag Tuba is a sedition who, though has resigned, no longer a sedition, but people in the CDC see him as their guy. The Azevag Tuba factor. Some seditions who would not vote for Thomas Fallah for reason best known to them, who have reason to vote for Dillion because maybe they can't stand a CDC winning because they have reached a point that, you know what, this is enough. I mean, you have power and you're not doing much enough. You ostracize some people. There's this unity. You're doing things that we never voted for. This is not what we signed up for. These seditions, some of them have resigned. Some of them are there, but they just like not participating. They will not vote for Dillion. They will not vote for the CDC. What they will do? They will vote for Azevag Tuba. So Dillion, the moderate seditions, who would rather vote or who would rather not vote for a CDC ticket because of the fundamental disagreement they have with their party now, would like to bless their votes with Azevag Tuba because Tuba is in the race. These are individuals who, if Tuba were not in the race, will vote for Dillion. So Dillion is not going to get that number of votes that he got in his last election. I want you to remember that. Now, my final segment to open the lines here. The regional and tribal politics. It is a realistic political dynamic in Liberia. You can't dismiss it. I hate it. You hate it. Some people don't like it. It is a political nightmare for us as a country, but it is also realistic. There are some elements, there are some political pundits, there are some political players who hold so dearly and so strongly that the CDC as a party is governing on the basis of region, which is the Southeast. Hello? And so for this reason, there's Southeasterners that feel that they have been placed in this box. Many of them are starting to feel that they need to identify with their own. Because no matter how they try to say, I am who I am, and I don't make my decision based on my region, some people discount that. And some of them, in their frustration, will say, you know what? I've had enough. No matter what I do, has been placed in this box. So I'm going with my own. I know you're confused. What I'm saying is, Lofa, Liberty Party is the Bassa people party, right? So Dillion is Bassa. So all the Bassa people will say, okay, we'll vote for Dillion. Because he's a Bassa man. He's from the Liberty Party. Thomas Fallah, he's from Lofa. And so some of the Lofa people will say, okay, we're going with our Bassa, our Lofa son. And some people who align themselves with region will vote in that direction. I talk about the lack of party outreach by the CPP, and the CPP has failed to broaden its tent. It has failed to widen its tent to include people. And so on this basis, Dillion chances are not as huge and strong as they were in the past election. That is why he should not overlook Thomas Fallah. Folks, I will open the phone lines now, and then we will get the conversation started. My name is Anthony C.A., and the program you are watching is the Hour of Politics. This is the Wednesday edition of the Hour of Politics, and we have been discussing the topic, who gets Montserrado County Senate seat, Dillion or Fallah? Folks, I have given you political analysis on the unfolding politics in Liberia, in Montserrado County, for the Montserrado County Senate seat. Now it is about time for you to call and engage me, make your contribution, disagree with me. After you participate, I will now be telling you what I think, how the election may go. So now that I have given my analysis, folks, bear with me, let me open the phone line. They are all set up. I just want to open the control section here so that I can be able to bring you all in order. So far, it is about time for you to place your call, folks. The number is right there on the screen, 605-313-6004, and enter the code 791403 to participate. Let me get ready here. I have a caller already. Okay. Caller, your name and where you're joining me from. You are at 164. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, caller, quickly to the issue.
Your name and where you joining me from? Hey, Mr. Zah, good afternoon. My name is Lucien Varney, calling from Pennsylvania. Thank you for the show. I think Montserrado County definitely be
Hold on.
for Mr. Thomas Fallah.
Hold on. Are you monitoring the phone?
I was monitoring it on the Facebook Live, but I muted the Facebook already.
Yeah, because there's a feedback. It's coming from you, I think.
You getting me now?
Yeah, but the feedback continues to come. We can't continue with that.
Okay. Let me call back.
All right. Anthony Gay?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Anthony. Quickly to the issue.
Yeah, but there's an echo in the background. I don't know if somebody on your call that has the echo.
Yeah, I don't know where the echo is coming from. So Anthony, wait, let me see if I can resolve that here. Hold on, Anthony. Let me see where the echo is coming from. Yeah, I don't know where the echo is coming from. Folks, bear with me here quickly. I want you to be able to participate. I'm trying to see if I can resolve this echo issue here quickly. I want to resolve the echo issue. Let me read some comments while I work on the echo issue. Dennis Jai, if you are in the back room there, I need some help here. I got echo. Dennis, if you are following. Let me know what I need to do. I try everything here, and the echo thing continues. I don't know why. So in the meantime, folks, while we're trying to work on it in the background, let me read some comments here. I see my man Sawi is watching. Sawi, take that phone call and call, man. You're a politician. You don't want to talk? Double Helena Besa Jala. That is the case. I don't know what you mean. This is the case, I people. Oh, I don't know what you're trying to say. Um, Jala, please go back to that comment and write it better. Don't rush, You want to write something for us to be able to understand. I'm sure you have a good contribution you want to make here. So do that. Anthony Gay, Liberians must understand CDC failed. Anthony Gay, the economy is a mess. I agree with you. The economy is a mess indeed. But the economy was a mess when Sir Joseph won. The economy was a mess when Abu Kili, or what's his name, Abu Kamara won. And this guy was even indicted by LACC, and yet he won. We can talk about whether or not, there was cheating that went on, but hey, that politics, that election, he won. The economy was a mess when those two individuals from the CDC won. So, Anthony, I agree with you. The economy is a mess. We should be reason enough to not vote anybody from the ruling party, but there's a history there. Two individuals won while the economy was still a mess. So it can happen again. It can also happen again that Dillion can win again. But that is not as easy as it was now. Let's read the room from Tessa Brewer Saba. Dillion has been doing good educating voters on focusing on county issues. That is true, but the dynamics have changed. The dynamics have changed. Dennis Jad, please help me here to get the sound issue resolved. Let me try again. Let me try again here, folks. Why is this sound issue? All right, let me do something. Hello?
Hello?
All right, let me see if it is resolved. All right, Mr. Gay?
All right. Mr. Gay?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
All right.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Like I was
Go
saying,
ahead.
thank you very much for taking on the national issues. Thank you very much. I want to start by saying Senator Dillion has not been a senator for a year yet, just to get the record straight. And second thing here, Senator Dillion has done something. I think he copied a little bit from Barack Obama when he was a senator. When Senator Barack Obama entered the American Senate, the U.S. Senate, he understood that the only way he will have a saying or presence is to be a disruptor. And that's what Dillion has done. Dillion has been a strong disruptor in the Liberian Senate because he understands he himself, by himself alone, can get bigger agenda passed legislatively in the Senate. So he became a disruptor. And through that disruption, Zolizo was denied. Wabudike, a nomination was withdrew because of the heat from Dillion. And to credit Dillion also, even Sir Joseph admitted to that on TV that Dillion was able to lobby quickly and assemble opposition senators for them to be able to reject Zolizo's nomination. And that happened. That is a credit to Dillion. Dillion also have brought the light. When we said the light, now you can see Senator now acting on things in the Senate. We see, deliberation being televised or, broadcast because we don't have a national television station right now. So broadcast on social media platform for us to see we that out of the country. For the very first time, I don't know, but I saw, the national budget being, broadcast in the House of Representatives before it went to the Senate. That those things were not happening. Dillion also gave back over $1,000 United States dollars from his salary reduction. He said $5,000 United States dollars was enough for him to live on in Liberia. He been living on $200 a month before he became a senator. So as a senator, $5,000 is enough of a money for him and his family to survive. The rest of the money have been given back to the county, and projects have been undertaken. The Zogo section. I hate to use the word Zogo, but that's the name they have in Liberia. The unemployed brothers and sisters. But those guys have been taken care of, and there is another place. So the bill that Dillion introduced, it is not late, and I think it's in place. If anyone who understands the current economic structure of Liberia and the circumstances and the crisis that we are faced with, then you would join Senator Dillion to cut your salary to $5,000. But brother, between you and I, $5,000 is no plenty money. Even if you can make $5,000 a month in America, you are considered a middle class or even upper middle class person. You may not be considered rich, but you live in a clean, decent home where if you pay $3,000 for mortgage, your brother $2,000 can do a whole lot of things for you. You can even drive a Mercedes or a Range Rover.
Anthony.
Yes. Yes.
You don't have Bluetooth on your end. You're not listening to the Facebook. The feedback is terrible, man.
No, I turned off my Bluetooth. I'm using my phone directly because I thought it was my Bluetooth too.
Yeah, this is compromising.
And my Facebook, I'm not even on the Facebook. I turned it off. Once you once you answer my call, I turn off the
Yeah, man. You know, I wanted you to stay with me here, but this is terrible. This is terrible. I don't know why it's happening. Let me try this other color and see if we'll have the same problem, Anthony. Then I'll come back to you. Caller with phone number ending in 8164. You were here earlier. Let's try again. Hello? Let me see here from this end too. Okay. That has been resolved. That has been resolved now, folks. Bear with me. I think I have found the solution. Anthony?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, it's clear now.
Yeah, I think I just discovered what was happening. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah. So before you come in, let me say to you, all the things you said, Anthony, my brother, you and I have tried at least to put in time to follow these things, and because we follow them, and because of our little understanding, we will try to apply to them. We are in a position to look at these factors and use them, for decision making, for our analysis. But we should not also discount the voters, our other brothers and sisters who, unlike you and myself, are not paying attention to these things. They are busy, about their daily hustle. All right, they're not following what Dillion is doing in the Senate. They're not following that. They are only waiting for these lawmakers to come to them during election time and tell them, "Hey, vote for me for this, for that." That's what they vote for. Some of them vote on party lines. Some of them vote on tribal lines. You understand? And so we can look at the economy,
but that will never,
and then we will say
that
that,
will never finish
looking at the economy,
even in
there's
America.
no way.
The road that for that is not. But the party not anywhere. I always default with you guys.
Brother, you will have a time to speak. When they don't bring on, don't wait out other people speak.
Yeah, brother, wait, I'll come to you. And so, Anthony, as I was saying, they don't look at these things, my brother. They don't look at these things. They vote with party lines. So I don't think Dillion has that clear-cut chance as it was in the last election. I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance, but it's not as good as it was. It is not definite this time, and he needs to work overtime. Go ahead.
I would say, as a political junkie, I call myself a political junkie because since I was 9 years old, I started following politics. My father used to listen to BBC Focus on Africa, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. That's how. And then I started listening to Radio France International, RFI. But let me say this, right? Even the 2012 presidential election here, Barack Obama did not win big as he won 2008.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there are dynamics in politics, there are movements, there are times, there are momentums and other different things. But one thing that is playing in the favor of Senator Dillion, there's two things. Number one, the CPP now getting together with the COP, that one. Number two is that Dillion has proven to the Liberian people, yes, myself, I disagree with him with the car issue and the way the $6,500 things went. Although he showed how the money was spent, but he shouldn't have, taken it from the beginning. So some of us, in as much as we support Senator Dillion, we are also able to express ourselves how we feel born for any retaliation. That's what the sedition cannot do. They cannot express themselves and still remain a sedition. When they do that, they get expelled. So what they do, they all become worshippers now. That's the danger of our country. You cannot put your party above the country.
And Anthony, that is what I'm saying. You should not underestimate. That's what I'm saying. Dillion should not underestimate the CDC. Now the CDC is unified. I think they are excited about the candidate that they have right now compared to Polita Weir. CDC has come home. I talk about Chris Montserrado being an example. Mike Jabate, I'm not saying he has been a sedition, So seditions have come home. A lot of seditions voted for Dillion. I don't think he's gonna get that same percentage that he did get, in the last election.
Okay, before you go to the other caller, I will close with this.
Mm-hmm.
Elections is all about numbers. Look at CPP and look at CDC. Mm-hmm. If you do it mathematically, based on the 2017 elections, CPP supersedes CDC in numbers.
Yeah.
That's point number one. That is void of COP. And by default, COP members vote on the long side with CPP. 90% of COP members are default members of CPP. Do you understand that? The other 10% are people who do not affiliate themselves with any political party, but they go with the candidate. So mathematically, it does. All citizens today who has registered as a CDC member can even go vote. We will still win based on the numbers.
All right.
Then Dillion being the person who has shown himself. Look at Wabodike. Dillion also wrote a letter that Wabodike, based on his withdrawal from the Senate hearing, also is not qualified to be the boss of LSCC because this is the one man who has 4 birthdays. Yeah. Your mother cannot born you 4 times. Biologically, it's impossible.
But Anthony, how many voters know that? How many voters know that? How many voters know that? These very voters voted for Sir Joseph, who happened to be a sedition, because they saw him as a true, genuine sedition, and he won. So I'm telling you, it's the same case now with Thomas Fallah. They see him as a traditional sedition, someone that asserts his best.
Unlike Sir Joseph, like you said, Thomas Fallah had won 3 times, just like Zopeno in Grand Jida County. But Zopeno was defeated by Marshall Dennis in the senatorial race in Grand Jida County. Why? Because winning a district seat is by far different from winning a county-wide seat. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is Thomas Fallah has no legislative appointment. Thomas Fallah has voted for the 66 bar possession deals that Ellen put forward, including the Eton and Iboma loan of recent. Senator Dillion did not vote for that. Although Senator Dillion even against those loans before he even came before he even went to the Senate.
And how many voters know about that?
Thomas Fallah voted.
How many voters know about that?
My brother, that's what we're saying. And they're hearing it today.
Okay.
They are hearing it. They're not voting today. They are hearing it, and they will hear it before December 8th.
Okay.
Look, the grassroots movement of Dillion is so. Look, I was on a group chat this morning. I was so excited. The grassroots movement. The grassroots movement is the most important movement because at the end of the day, our vote must be protected.
Thank you.
Polling station must be protected. Our poll washer will be there. And that's where the most important thing will happen. You will not do what you did in District 15 with LIU. It will not happen. And so what we want to say to everyone, if you like the suffering that's going on right now, the economy that's going on right now, then vote for CDC. But this is a complete referendum on President Weir.
Thank you.
This election in Montserrado County It's a complete referendum. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, as always, calling in here. That was the voice of Anthony Gay. He's a member of the ANC, a member of the CPP, and a member of the COP, and he's in Dillon's corner. Anthony, thank you for your contribution. Let's bring in our next caller here, caller way 8164. Is your time. Speak now, forever hold your peace, my friend.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sai. Good afternoon. Thank you again once more for taking my call back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, pertaining to the election in Montserrado for the senatorial position, I think as a young and vibrant Liberian, I think what we want as a young people and as a Liberian are people that stand for something. Like just what the brother was just saying to Jeff Butcher, what he was saying pertaining to he disagree when Dillion take, I don't know, 600 and how the 600 or whatever the money was used. He not agree with that. But my point here has to do with, you see, like in life, people always say, show me your friend, and they would show you who you are.
Yeah.
Dillion, I know people saying he's alive. He making things to change in the government, in the legislature, all of that. But there is a man that bang around these same people, even like in early time. There's a man that was around these same corrupt people that we have in our system. I know he was not in the position that he had in today. But why some of the teachers that even the Bazolian, that the county that he coming from, that his own Bazolian brothers and sisters, why somebody they show that he can show to us as young people to say that, or some of his own people that will get up and show that, yes, this is what they don't have done for Montserrado County or our county. For me, I haven't seen that. My father is a $10 man. So I have connection with Bassa people. When it comes to the history, I know that very good. But what some of the things that this brother have done?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should lawmakers be showing people what they have done in terms of project? Is that their responsibility, or their role is to make law?
No.
Or provide what they call check and balance? I thought that should they be saying, hey, I built the hospital, I built this? Is that what it should be?
No. Their responsibility is not to tell us what they have done or this and that. Their responsibility is to make law, is to make sure to check and balance our government and make sure things are going right for our people and our country. These are their responsibilities. But we don't want somebody that will just come because maybe you want to ascend to the higher post. That's the only time you want to come out and act like, yes, you want to tell the people that this is me. It's almost like when he was saying, like, when the politicians come and go, our blonde brothers and sisters back arrest, don't vote for them because they're trying to bribe you with back arrest. So don't vote for them. Either arrest, don't vote for them. So why he telling
our
supporting
anybody in this race? Are you supporting anybody in this race?
Yes, my entire family is supporting Thomas Fallah.
Why?
That's why in the diaspora, but my family supporting Thomas Fallah.
Why
one has to do with the mental. I supported Thomas Fallah. One side has to do with for he even just taking the initiative to build an institution where thousands of Liberians tomorrow, maybe our children will be able to go and sit and be able to get quality understanding of our country or quality education. That alone is show to me that these are the type of people that we want to follow the good example of. So that we can see a lot of Liberians talking about, look at Ghana, look at Nigeria, look at the other part of Africa. Nobody making these people country, nobody carrying all these development idea or some of the initiative. It's their people, the citizens of that country. But Liberia, we're not doing that. All we do, we castigate one another. We go against one another, even if somebody's doing the right thing.
Thank you, my brother. I have to take another caller.
We go against them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate your call. All right. Caller with phone number ending in 9469. Quickly to the issue. Where are you joining us from?
Yes, my brother. Good. Let me see. Yeah. Good afternoon to you there. I am calling from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, from Europe.
Okay.
I am Apostle DGCO, and let the record be straight.
Mm-hmm.
I am a seditian,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to tell the Liberian people why Thomas Fallah is going to be the next senator for Montserrado County, and not Darius Dillion.
Why not Darius Dillion?
Number one, yeah, okay, thank you. Number one, Dillion has no integrity. Integrity is very important when it comes to politics.
Mm-hmm.
When your yes is not yes, when you tell people that when I become senator, I will not go for agriculture break, and then they see you in America dancing Born to Win. When you tell people, when you go to America, you take money from that, you say you are coming to Liberia to build a rehabilitation house in June, and you come, you did not do it. If you tell people that if you go in a Sunday, you will not take bribe because you want to, you call yourself a so-called lie, but we call you Chinese lie anyway, that you'll be better than all the other senators, and you go in the Sunday and you are worst. When you do not show remorse and empathy to people who are physically challenged, you go to Vamuma and you see the supermarket, you're coming down from your car with your security, and you are pushing the physically challenged people, physically beating them up. When you, for example, told the Liberian people that you not take that $45,000 Jeep that you are driving, and when they give it to you, you say, oh, I will take it. Now, there are many things that Dillion has done and is still doing that are contrary to the things that he said before the Liberian people, before the sedition, made a mistake to stay home and that he got a few votes, mistaking it to be where he is today. Another thing you have to know, my dear brother,
hello there.
When I hear somebody like,
hold on.
Hello?
The Valmoma incident you talk about when not president, but Dillion went to the supermarket.
Dillion is not president, my friend. Don't call Dillion president, please.
I just said sorry, and if I call him president, that's my right. So don't take me to court for that. All right, I was just saying.
But don't mislead it. Don't mislead your audience. He's not president. Don't say that.
Are you here to fight?
You have to do the ABC of journalism.
Are you
don't
here
call
to
him
fight?
President.
Are you here to fight? I'm not here to fight.
No, but don't mislead the people who are watching your show.
What do you mean don't mislead the people?
Don't
I just said I'm
president.
sorry. I didn't call Dillion a president, man. Stop that. What kind of guy are you? You here to fight?
I'm a good guy, but I'm just trying to correct you.
But don't tell me say I'm misleading the people. Did I tell you say the man is president?
Because you said that you want to call him president because you're right. But why should you call him president? He's not president. Don't say that.
I just wanted to ask you, right? The
supermarket
I'm
waiting for your question, but I'm trying to correct you, that's why.
The supermarket incident with Dillion, reports had it that it was staged. It was a setup to make Dillion look ugly. Is that not true?
That is not true. You can go back. There are many videos. Nobody will just wake up to make Dillion ugly. Dillion himself had never denied that. Nobody, the physically challenged people will not go and just make a fake show. Even the people,
they said they were paid. The physically challenged people, they said they were paid. That's what that was the other side of the story. That
but you said they said, but those are not things. No, it's not correct.
Were you there?
It's not true.
Were you there?
I am telling you, it's not true, and Dillion himself knows that. But let me say this.
All right, folks, I lost that caller there. I lost that caller there. It seems to be I lost that caller. My phone line got disconnected also, by the way, and I have callers waiting here. Oh my God, what did this happen to me? My phone line. Oh, my phone lines are still connected. And what happened? Okay, it got disconnected here in the Zoom system. All right, folks, I'm sorry I can't continue to take calls. Our phone line got completely disconnected here. So I'm going to close this broadcast. I don't know why that happened. What's that caller there? I don't know why that happened. The phone line got completely disconnected. And so, folks, Thank you for following this broadcast. We have been discussing who gets Montserrado County Senate seat. Will it be Dillion or Thomas Fallah? And I told you that the dynamics have changed. When Dillion won at the time, CDC was not happy with CDC. Seditions were not happy with their own party. There were seditions who even protested, calling themselves disenchanted sedition. They went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where the president office is. The news of 16 billion was around. The 25 million map up money noise was also around. And Dillion came that time. At the time, seditions were like, okay, our government is not there for us. CDC said oppositions dominated the government at that time. They wanted to see their leaders in the government to be appointed, and that was not happening. And so, when Polita Weir, who had a ice cream relationship with the president, as it's been rumored and believed, something I believe, seditions were even mad further. What? Our leaders are not in government? We are talking about this. Seditions have been ostracized. Opposition are dominating. Besson Bafine, who is now a sedition now at the time, I don't know whether he was a sedition, but he was appointed as foreign affairs minister where prominent seditions were ostracized out of the government. CDC was angry at that time. And Polita Weir came in. She already had a job in the government. And then she was the one chosen. CDC was not happy. $16 billion noise, people will not be held accountable. 25 million map or exercise, people will not be held accountable. Prices were on the increase. People were not happy. Liberians were not happy with their government. And so seditions and the masses decided to send a message. And that was when Dillion came in. And he came with a message as being the light, and that the House of Legislature, that the Liberian people blame. They blame every government official as being the problem at the time. Dillion came in that time. He wrote on the sentiment, the frustrations, and the anger of the people with a clever message, being the light. And he pulled that victory. Because you have CDC voting for, seditions voting for him, sedition now voting for their party, opposition people unify against him, the CPP only supporting a single candidate during that election, Dillion too having a better message, and there was not much money that was spent at the time. He had a lot of messengers like Chris Monsele, Manja Bate, all these people. And so Dillion pulled through and won that victory. Today, I'm saying to you, the dynamics have changed. You have a unified CDC. You have pretty much a CPP that has 8 hands full, multiple candidates. A CPP that does not have money to sponsor their candidates. Whereas CDC has the money, Fallah too has their own money to spend. So I'm saying to you, this race is not an easy race, and Dillion should not underestimate Thomas Fallah. If he does that, chances are that he might get a surprise. CDC is planning to do everything. CDC did everything in their power. When President Weir said that a Ure will not win, when Talia Ure was in a race, even though CDC has on 8 parties ticket an indicted LAC criminal, Abu Kili, CDC battled it because their president, their leader said a Ure will not win. The election results were contested. At the end of it all, there was a recount. CDC pulled through. Because CDC was unified behind Abu Kili. Though a criminal indicted by the LACC, CDC had a criminal on its ticket. That criminal won anyway because he spent the money. Abu Kili was distributing money. Abu Kamara was distributing money. Abu won. Talia Ure tried to match up with that by distributing some money as well, it was reported. But Abu doubled it. The president used his influence. They used the government machinery. They everything. They played their manipulated tactics at the level of the election commission. Abu Kili won. Tell me, is CDC as excited as they are now with Thomas Fallah as they were with Polita Weir? No. CDC was not excited as they are now with Thomas Fallah. Even the very Abu Kamara who won, CDC was all in, but CDC was not excited because Abu Kamara, according to our record, is not what I classify as a traditional sedition. So though they went all out for him, all because the president said a Euro will not win as long as president. That alone carried them. So they didn't care whether Abu was an indicted or LAC or criminal. And they did everything from the election commission level by Abu Kili to spending money, thousands and thousands of dollars, and he won. And now there is Thomas Fallah, a traditional sedition, a guy who is using cash violence just as Sir Joseph has used cash violence and won decisively. Why you think what works for Sir Joseph will not work for Thomas Fallah? Why would you not want to think that? Why would you think that what worked for LACC indicted criminal Abu Kamara, a mandate from the president, would not work for Thomas Fallah? CDC is determined. They said they will make Dillion a one-term senator. They will make him the shortest senator with a political life at the Senate. That's what they said. That is their mandate. And you think they're not going to do anything, or do everything, and they will say by some pounding and let Dillion come and snatch it? If there is only one person who unifies the CDC, that is Dillion. Dillion is a unifying factor for the CDC. They got embarrassed them politically. He disgraced them, and they don't want to see that repeated. So I am telling you, CDC will do everything as they are doing now. Cash violence. If it means that they come with intimidation tactics, they will do it. It will mean that they maneuver at the level of the election commission, they will do it. Dillion has his own deficiency financially. He's raising money. Why? Thomas Fallah got tons of millions of dollars at his disposal that he's spending. Oh, yes, he gave $1 million for Monan's burial. So imagine how much he's willing to spend for himself. Imagine how much CDC is willing to spend. CDC is dishing money out. Some of the money landed in Christmas Sally's pocket. Some of the money landed in Man Jabate's pocket. That is why these individuals are all out for Thomas Fallah. Even Man Jabate have to eat his own words by saying, if you vote for Thomas Fallah, then your mind and power not do the thing good and not born you good. That's why he said before. But now, you think that man just changed automatically? But hey, my Jabata will be here on Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time, and we will have a conversation. So what I'm saying to you is, Dillion should not, under any circumstance, take T5, as the sedition call him, for a raw Nino for granted. He is a formidable candidate because CDC is unified behind him. He has the money. He is a traditional sedition. He excites his base. He represents everything that is CDC, and CDC has a mandate to make Dillion a one-term senator. CDC had a mandate from the president that a Ure will not win, and they punish Terry Ure at the ballot box. They did it in a faction that I disagree with. Abu Kamara is still represented the last time I checked. So to think that, oh, whatever they do, they're going to be noise, that noise will not go anywhere. We have seen noise here and there. I like the noise, though. I like the noise. The protest noise, I like it. I'm a protest guy. The June 7 protest, there was noise. Bring Back Our Money campaign, there was noise. And protest here and there and here and there, noise, noise, noise. That noise has gone nowhere. Zip. And so, this race is not won yet. Darius Dillion is yet to win this race. I know politically you have to claim victory, which Dillion has done. If Dillion underestimates Thomas Fallah, if Dillion takes the CDC for a ride, he will get the shock of his life. And I want Dillion to take this message very, very frantically. Let him do all he can. I see he's raising money. I see that he wants to assign polling places to individuals to finance, meaning that people who will be there to provide the necessary funding for the poll watcher that will be there. That is a good effort. But the care violence team, man, it works. It works. It works for Abu Kamara. It works for Sir Joseph. I am only fearing it may work. But what I also know is Robert Salih spent all the money, he got whooped. Vanin Shemo spent all the money, he got whooped. Clemency US spent all the money and he got whooped. So, my conclusion, Dillion is not an outright winner. Thomas Fallah stands a formidable chance as Dillion does. This seems to me as a 50-50 chance because the CPP got a hands full. Candidates here and there. It's not only Dillion anymore, baby. So, Mr. Dillion, if you know why I know, give it all. Go all out. Call your supporters to double up. Campaign as you possibly can in every corner there is in Montserrado County. Because CDC is determined, they have a medley, they are ruthless financially, they have a lot of messengers, and you do not have that many messengers. Mumba Monu is campaigning. I don't think he has a credibility, but he has credibility in his party. They will listen to him. Jefferson Koji is campaigning. I don't think he has any national credibility, but he has credibility in his party. People trust him. Who can they trust? Akaro Gray is campaigning. Samuel Twe is campaigning. And more prominent citizens will come out to campaign for Thomas Fallah. And they have the money. I'll continue to repeat that. They will use chaos violence. They have a mandate. It's been rumored that President Weah told them that if he does not get the Montserrado County Senate seat, they will be in trouble and he will not contest. Do you think those guys going to sit there and allow their bread to get out of their mouth? Is Samuel Twer, who has no political future, maybe I shouldn't say that loud, because Liberia, as I know, the last time there was a guy called Ellis Tyler. He earned the name Corruption King Kong. CDC put him on their ticket. CDC even, I think, what's his name? Brain Johnson is campaigning for the CDC. Oh, my friend Vanny Saki. Vanny, this CDC is interesting. But these guys, what I'm saying to you is they have a minute. They have a minute when Abu Kamara was running from the president that a Ure will not win, and they pull through. They had a minute that Joseph needed to win, and they pull through. So don't overlook them. They have the state architecture in their hand. They can use it to their advantage. They have the money. They're spending it. Dillion has been outnumbered financially. Dillion, do not overlook these guys. These guys are determined. I'm not saying they're going to win you, but I'm also saying they can win you. Listen to the English. I'm not saying they will win you, but I'm saying they can win you. They can beat you in the race because they have everything they need to make it happen. Whereas you do not have everything that you need to make it happen. Yet, if you work harder and harder, and maybe the hardest, and maybe spend some money, and maybe be strategic about it, maybe you can win. But Dillion, your chance compared to your chance the last time is slim. You had a bigger chance then. You sail on the frustration of seditions as well. This time, you only have the CPP in your corner. Seditions are not in your corner anymore. The CPP hands are full. You are not the only candidate they have to worry about. Will Cummings dish out $1 million for Dillion? I would say no. Cummings is a financial guy. He spends $1 and he expects a profit. What does he gain? I might be wrong, folks, but that is my assessment. That is my assessment. Because Cummings might be thinking, say, okay, if Dillion win, what impact does it make? Cummings is the guy who told you that the only way he can make much of an impact is when he's president, which equally means that being a senator amounts to nothing. So why would he want to spend $1 million United States dollars for a seat that when anyone occupies, that one person makes no impact of any consequence? The man can change his mind and spend the money. But this is my belief that he will not do that, given the reasons that I have outlined. George, for some reason, our phone number, got interrupted here, my man. I see you here, you on hold, but the phone number kind of. So bear with me here, George. Let me see if I can do something here quickly. George, bear with me, folks. Bear with me here. I got my man, George Lobo, who want to come in here quickly. George supposed to join me, by the way. George, hold on. Folks, let me bring George Lobo in, but I have to do some connection here with the phone quickly to bring George in so he can propound for at least 20 minutes. And then we will close the show. I was already making my closing, George. I was already making my closing, but I need to bring George in. I promise him. So let me do that quickly, folks. So as I was saying, Dillion shouldn't think he's going to have that easy ride. All right? You have a determined CDC with a mandate that is really, that is using cash violence, and wants to win this thing, and they have done it before, and I'm saying to you, they can do it again. They can do it again and again and again. They can do it. So do not discount them.
Discount them.
Hold on, folks.
Hold on, folks.
All right. George Lobo, very soon you will be connected, my young brother, so that you can propound. Let me link the number right now. So, folks, do not overlook the CDC. Don't count that out. Dillion has to work. Look, if the politics, if the electorates were like people that follow the issue, like many of us do, I would say it's a done deal. But I can't say that right now. All right. Let me do this here quickly. The man George Lobo is joining us here. The man George Lobo. All right. All right, George. George, George Lobo, you left. George, you need to come back. I have just linked the number. George, you need to come back. Let me see here. Okay, George, you need to come back. I saw your number here. Let me bring in this caller who has been waiting. Caller, your name and where you joining up from. 1777. 1777. Caller, your name and where you joining us from. What is going on here?
Goodbye.
All right. Hold on, folks. So,
Hold
as
on,
I was
folks. So,
saying,
as I was saying,
do not overlook the CDC. George Lobo, it's because of you I'm doing this. So if you are not coming back, I will end this broadcast quickly. All right, George is back. George, give me 1 minute. Let me reconnect the line. Bear with me here, folks. All right, George, I see you here. Let me remove you on hold now. George, can you hear me? George, can you hear me?
yeah.
All
Are you
right.
there now?
Yeah, yes, you are live, George. Thank you for joining me. So, strictly to the issue.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks for having me. I just want to say thank you very much. So I listened to your deliberation this morning. I wanted to say thank you very much for having me on the show. On the issue of, I want to speak to one or two things.
Quickly.
On the issue of Senator Dillion and his campaign, you gave a picture, and I think every Liberian listening to you today, first and foremost, should be very careful and be very concerned, even those of us who are members of the CPP. Some of the things you alluded to earlier today make sense, which I think if I was part of the Dillion campaign team, I would not take it for granted. Complacency in politics is not a strategy. You always want to continue to fight until the last whistle. The issue of Senator Dillion, I think many of us in the CPP, Anthony, we believe that miracle will happen. No. Liberia as a country, people are known for flipping in the last minute. So I think Senator Dillion can win, but Senator Dillion will have to work. And supporters of Senator Dillion will also have to work. We need to win more independent minds over. Senator Dillon has to be out there, and I think he needs a strategic team. I don't know what the CPP is doing or what they have planned for him, but I think the CPP will really need to do more when it comes to Senator Dillon and many other CPP candidates because the CDC is not taking this election for granted, especially Montserrado.
No.
And I like to be very optimistic when I get involved in political engagements. And as a result, uh, it's hard when people say the hardcore truth. The previous election that Senator Dillon won was a lot easier than this one because Senator Dillon had not served in the Senate. So it was easier for you to say when he's elected, he will do this, he will do that. Now he has served. So part of selling Senator Dillon now is just different from saying when he get there, he's already there. So you're going to also have to market him based on what he has done there and what he intends to do. You're going to have to look at some of his other accomplishments and market him. However, I have not been involved in his campaign, but I'm a member of the CPP. So obviously, I am going to support the CPP candidate, which is Darius Dillon. But he needs to work, and I think maybe he has a strategic team. I don't know. My only appeal now would be Anthony to reach out to the senator. Maybe he should appear on Focus on Liberia, and the Focus on Liberia have been a very great platform for Liberians, so he can come out and at least continue to market himself because Dillon needs to do a lot more. Going against the ruling party, it's like going to play a game where you know that the cheering squad, everybody in the fan, the spectators will be against you at this particular point in time, a government that is desperate. So, yeah, but I mean, you said, I think 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm open to some of your questions for me, and then we can proceed from there. But I think you made some brilliant analysis here, and I don't want people to take it. One thing we do have as Liberians, the problem we have, if we don't hear the messages we want to hear, we tend to get upset. We tend to think that people are not normal, but you made some brilliant analysis here, and I think everything you said with grain of salt, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense, and people need to pay attention to what you said. Because I don't want after the election we sit and say, maybe we could have done that, maybe we could have listened to Anthony C. But I think these are things that we all should take keynote from. If the Dillon strategic team is listening, I think they should draw some clues from here to be able to strategically position or allocate their resources to make sure that they can be able to win. So George, I would like to see if you have questions for me. We'll proceed.
Yeah, George, I want to ask the question. Should this winning desire for Dillion be more on Dillon's shoulders or on the shoulders of the CPP? Whatever your response may be, why?
I think it should be more, the way you ask the question, I don't want to sound impartial because don't forget, Anthony, the CPP have other candidates in other counties.
Right.
If it is going to be, if the CPP will focus just and take this one race to be only for them, I think all 15 seats should be more for the CPP. No one is exceptional because it's one senator. So all 15 seats are very important to the CPP. Now, it should be more of an importance to Dillion because this have built Dillon's political career. This have increased his popularity. This have set him apart from a lot of other people. So this is more important to him because at the end of the day, Anthony, you got to understand, it is Dillion who will be the senator from Montserrado. It is not going to be George Lobo. I am in the CPP. It will not be, maybe, let me say, Anthony Gay, who's from the ANC, right? He will not be the senator. He comes from the CPP. It will not be Mo Ali or the Henry Costa. No, it will be Senator Dillion. It will not be Senator Lobo.
George.
So it's more important to him and his political career.
George, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But you follow this issue. You always say election has consequences. And this Montserrado County is different. You alluded to that. It's the one that may break the camel's back. CDC understand that so uniquely that they have a mandate to make him, because a Dillion beat CDC again in Montserrado County. No matter the result from the other counties, CDC will be demoralized. It will expose CDC as the weak party that we know it to be, but they're trying to put some cloth on it to hide it. And they don't want that exposure. That is why this is key. So why you think it shouldn't be the concern of the CPP as a political unit more than Dillion?
I didn't say it should not be the concern of the CPP. I just said the CPP cannot take one senatorial race more than any other one, because at the end of the day, the CPP is an organization, it's a collaboration of 4 political parties. You don't want to send a message to other candidates that they were of less importance, that you value one candidate more than the others. So I think the CPP leadership needs to understand that. They need to treat all races with the same level of enthusiasm. They need to make sure that their support is equally distributed, because you have to understand, in Maryland County, we have a ANC senator. You don't want us to say that all our energy and efforts were just dedicated to just Montserrado and pay no attention to that of the one in Maryland or in Grand Cape. So we can't do that. We have to be seen as equally balanced. So that is where I'm speaking from. Doesn't mean it's not important. No, I didn't say that. It's very important to us. It's very important to the CPP. But you have to understand one thing, Anthony. To the CDC, we know that the citizens are not smart, okay? As a CPP, if we go into these elections, Anthony, if the CPP takes anything above 8 seats out of 15, for us, automatically it's a win for us. We don't care what the CDC says.
And George, before you continue, George, this is, as I talk about this, right? And that's the thing the opposition bloc does. Post all sedition in one box and nail them as somebody needing a conflict. You just said that the seditions are not smart. Do you really believe that people in the CDC are not smart? These guys won an election. These guys have a history of winning elections.
Let me tell you, Anthony. Let me tell you, Anthony, when I say the CDC is not smart, the CDC is a ruling party, right?
Right.
If a ruling party that believed to have done well is now running around and cannot feed candidates on her own in Grand Cape Mount, no, she's feeding in Grand Cape Mount, but withdraw from places from Nimba. There are other counties where the CDC is not going to feed candidates. They are aligning with other people. It's just to tell us that the CDC is a threat. Because let me tell you one thing: if you want to prove strength as a ruling party, you do not withdraw your forces. This is when you're supposed to come out and show your might. This is when you're supposed to go out and say, "We've delivered for the Liberian people," and bring your folks up front and say, "You know what? We will engage in these elections." But the fact that they are drawing back, that tells us exactly. The CDC concentration, if you watch, the enthusiasm the CDC is carrying out in Montserrado. It's nowhere else. So we strongly believe that the CDC focus is on Montserrado. Let me tell you one thing. I'm a political strategist, and here's my calculation. There are 15 seats up for grab. If the CPP take 9, the CDC can go to heaven and come back. They lost. Because automatically what that is going to do for us, Anthony, that is going to shift the balance of power in the Senate. If the CPP gets anything above 9,
George, I think the CDC is smart here, and if you may not see it that way, and they try to be realistic, right? They know they don't have a chance, or they don't have chances in those places. They're not feeding candidate, so now they are aligning themselves with other people because they know that if they do that, they will spread their self thinly, maybe put money in races they know they're not going to win anyway. So they prefer to support other people, hoping that those people will be able to support them in the Senate. I think that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Anthony, if you strongly believe in your power as a ruling party that have delivered for the country, you should not be running around to look for other people to serve for you. So I think what they should be doing is to bring forth their own messiahs, bring forth their own or surrogate, bring forth their own candidates.
Maybe
But I would say this to you, Anthony, we are
they're
not
creating
concerned.
some now, or Josh. Maybe they're creating some. Like Prince Johnson is in their corner now. I saw him wearing a CDC barrel the other day. That's another way to get people on board, isn't it?
Let me say this to you.
Okay.
Let me say this to you. The race in Nimba, even if Prince Johnson goes to the mountain and sleep, I will say one thing here very clear. Anthony,
yes.
If the CPP don't win above 9 seats in this December election,
right,
it is not because the CDC was strategically strong. It is not because the CDC brought more money. It will be because the CPP, listen to my English, if the CDC or people who the CDC support win 9 seats total, it will only be because the CPP failed to do her job. That is all.
What can the CPP do, Josh? You guys don't have money. Josh, hold on, Josh. What can you guys do? You guys don't have money.
Let me say this to you, Anthony.
Okay.
The CPP is a collaboration of 4 political parties. You see, when we speak of having a strategic team, sometimes that is what the strategic team would do. The strategic team would have outlined a budget, would have outlined fundraising activities to be able to set a target that will go towards raising funds that will go to support our candidates in a different county. That's what I'm saying, Anthony. If the CDC wins, if the CPP don't win over 9 seats, it is because the CPP didn't do her job. That's all. But if the CPP do her job and bring forth the right people and bring forth all her forces to the front line, the CDC cannot match us. I would say, let me give you an example. A guy like George Lobo is in the United States, right? There is nobody in the CDC that I challenge them that can go, that will go to a debate with me from this government. From the Minister of Finance to the Minister of Youth and Sport, bring them any day. I will give them reason why they should not win election. And I will tell the Liberian people.
I got Azedo, who is visiting his family in the United States, and he will be debating you. He's my younger brother. I'm going to talk to him.
Listen.
But George, before you come into that, George, yes, I was about to ask you the question, George. You brought it out, right? So here is the CPP. You are absolutely correct, and I agree with you, George. Hold on. I agree with you 100% that if the CPP, if the CDC wins about 9 seats, it will be because the CPP has failed to do its job. To your point you are making, you are a good communicator. Here you are comfortably seated in the United States of America. Costa is seated comfortably in the United States. The both of you are outstanding messengers for the CPP. Akara Gray, Momba Monlo, Jefferson Koji, and many others, Samuel 12, they are on the radio. They get in the media. You guys are here only along with people hearing on the radio. So if you look at the propaganda war or the messaging war, to put it right, you guys are being outnumbered in this race.
Again, Anthony, that speaks to the leadership of the CPP. George Lobo have said, my services are available to the chairman. I have made that commitment very clear. Anthony, I cannot, the CPP, the leadership will have to be able to identify resources and go after those resources. Yeah, maybe George Lobo might not be needed on the ground. Maybe there are other communicators in Liberia that can do a very good job for the CPP. So maybe we never know. You know, the CPP is a collaboration of 4 political parties. So maybe there could be other people on the ground who are doing a outstanding job for the CPP. So maybe they don't see it that way. So I can't speak to all of those different things. At the end of the day, it's going to have to be what they want. One thing I've said, I've been very, very clear. I pledge my loyalty and my support to the CPP, but the CPP will have to be able to find a way to utilize my support. The CPP is the one who has to decide where they feel that George Lobo can be of help to them. Maybe George might not be of help right now. Maybe the CPP do have people who can be able to articulate and give the message of the CPP and go after the CDC. So if that is the position, I've decided to go to Liberia, but I want to be very, very clear and let everybody who hear me, who are members of the CPB, hear me crystal clear. If I get to Liberia on my own accord, there is a reason that I said to go to Liberia to engage in a civic education. And if I go to Liberia on that reason, I will pursue that particular reason. And I want to make that very, very clear. If I enter Liberia on the core of the draft civic education proposal that I made, my goal would be to go out to the 15 counties on a civic education because the CPB didn't send for me. The CPB didn't bring me to Monrovia. And that's what I would do.
George Lobo, George, I want to say thank you.
That's my position.
Comments. I have a few people here that I want to bring in before I can close the broadcast.
Let me say this very clear. I want to say thank you very much, Anthony, for the privilege. Thanks for the opportunity once again. To the Liberian people, you don't need George Lobo to tell you what the circumstances are today. You don't need Darius Dillion to tell you what your life condition is today. You don't need Alexander Cummings or Joseph Boakai to tell you. This election is very simple. What you need to do for yourself is ask yourself, what was your life was like 3 years ago? How were you taking care of your children 4 years ago? What was the hospitals you went to 4 years ago looking like? What was your access to primary health care 4 years ago? What was the cost of living 4 years ago? What was the cost of basic commodities 4 years ago? What was the exchange rate 4 years ago? And if all those answers that the rate today is lower than what it was before, that hospitals today are better than what it was before, we don't need to campaign. Go for CDC. If your transportation cost from your house to Broad Street is cheaper than what it was before George came to power, then vote for the CDC. This thing should not be a campaign. If your life is better today than it was 3 years ago, go vote for the CDC. That's a very simple message. I don't think we need to make this thing harder than it should be. If Liberia's repetition on the international stage today under George Weah leadership is better than it was 3 years ago, I say this to you. Go and vote the CDC. But if you believe that it is not what it was, that today more Liberians, don't quote me, quote the IMF and the World Bank, they say between 340,000 to 526,000 Liberians, in addition, will be moving below the poverty line, meaning some people already got their St. George King, but in addition to the ones that are there. So technically, this thing is very simple. We don't have to make this thing about people wasting gravels on dusty road. You know, it's not about it. A government desperate to showcase that it's doing something, that's not what it's about. It is about your future, your children's future, your life, your livelihood. So if you believe that your life is better, if you believe there's hope under this government, you know, Liberian people are simple. They say the Christmas will be good, you can tell from Christmas Eve. George have had over 2 years, and what you've seen, if your life has been better than it was before, then go vote for the CDC. This thing we can make noise over here. I want to say thank you very much once again. Anthony, thank you for the privilege. Extend my greetings to Timber Dennis Jar. Thanks to all of you for following. We'll be here. I hope the CDC leadership can begin to listen and be able to move, attract all our forces, and use them, utilize them for the betterment of the CPP. There's no time to waste. Make use of what you have. Thank you, and thanks to all of you.
Thank you, George. Let me bring in my Fallah 2 callers here quickly. Caller with phone number ending in 1777. We had you earlier, and we're having some difficulties. Quickly to the issue. 1777, are you there? All right. 1777, you're not paying attention? Caller with phone number ending in 7486. Your name and where you joining me from?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Momo Saki. I'm calling from Minnesota.
All right, Saki, quickly.
You know, I listen to people George a little lively, but you know, that's the problem the CPP have. Even if they don't have the hypocritical mindset. If they don't can go to radio and say the mindset people got at CDC are angry, they vote for CDC must stay to their houses. That's the problem the CPP fixing.
They're not able to convince people from the other app. The only thing they do, they call people a name. I can tell someone, you cannot say the factor that made Dillion to be senator is not the factor that is working now. Number one, Paulina Weir was not a suitable candidate among the citizens. Don't forget about citizens. But Tomo Fallah, there are people who are not even citizens. They prefer Tomo Fallah than Dillion. Because over the last 15 years, Tomo Fallah self are represented for district number 2 now, when they were district number 7. And he moved from there. When they divided the district, he came to district number 5. He had ruled district number 5. He had won district number 5 2 times. During part of that weird time, you never saw Sergeant then taking the front and saying, this time, we all will get on the feet to campaign. Go to the rural area in Montserrado, Sergeant putting solar panel up. Like Kunstan, some of the rural villages. Sergeant renovating road. Are you telling me, say, if Sergeant go campaign to say vote for Tomo Fallah, people will say because Georgia are not doing well, so we can vote for Tomo Fallah? To a point that weird time, you never saw lawmaker. The only lawmaker that were on the forefront for Porta we were Ascara Gray. But the time around, you go to district number 2 where we have Jean David Smith.
So
he's on the everybody.
Your conclusion is that Thomas Fallah going to win this thing?
You can take it to the bank. This is not.
Are you talking about that bank, Akara Grace? All we're talking about with no money in it is that the bank you want me to take it to?
See, bro. Yeah. In 2019, December 8th, December 9, you can't only read. You can't read it. You will say the way they propping. There are some citizens that were angry, and Tomo Fallah take money.
And I said that. Thank you. I have to wrap it up. Yeah, let me take my final caller. Thank you. I appreciate your call. Maybe you can join me tomorrow. Let me see. Caller with phone number ending in 1777. Are you here? 1777. I've been trying to call your attention.
Yeah. This is Lasana Duple calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mr. Duple, quickly. I stayed too long here because of some issues. So quickly, let's do it. Who winning?
This is a clear show, but I like what you say. Mm-hmm. Like Dillion should not be complaints about this election. Mm-hmm. That was a good advice, and be a supporter of Dillion. We'll take your message into consideration. And I can see the senior man, Vani, maybe listening to me, he's one of the most talk about strategic men when it comes to Dillion campaign.
Right.
So thank you very much for this, your platform. They really acknowledge we, the member of Dillion campaign, and we'll really take your message into consideration because we are fighting against the ruling party. And it's so surprising that at this time, we are the whole nation, president, the ruling party, the whole government will be struggling beyond just for one individual. It means that if he was doing well, what happening now, it could not happen. And even yesterday, if you listen to those guys that were demonstrating about their pay, $120, that was with Joseph Koji, you see some of them still counting that indeed, we will put our head on the chopping board. You're still making us angry, but we'll still put for Dillion. Anywhere they go, Dillion was there to tell you that the people are still angry with these people and to let you know that there is not about the money that they are receiving, but they are looking beyond that in case these people giving us money now to receive, beg or rent and what have you, in case we will vote those people and get our vote, what will be our future? What will be the next? Because they're looking at the aftermath. So based on that reason, they will not really put their hair on chopping board to vote for Tomo Fallah. Many people these days, that will be for. That is the reason why I was listening to you. That will be for. People was now open to the system.
So you want me to take it to the bank?
Now,
you want me to take it to the bank? Hold on. You want me to take it to the bank that Dillion will win this thing, right?
Dillion will win. That is clear, and it's by not by spending money, but people are getting to know what is best for them for tomorrow, and they know that Dillion is a future or leader for them, representative for them.
All right,
They
thank
know
you, my
that if they
brother.
vote
Thank you,
Dillion,
my brother, for your
definitely
contribution.
most of their problem will be solved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for your
But
contribution. I appreciate it.
can I just summarize everything?
Please.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay.
All right. All right, folks, this is how we will come to the end of this broadcast. Thank you for staying with me. We stay a little longer due to some technical issues here and there. And many of you want to know what I think. What I think, I said it earlier, is this thing is 50-50 for me. I see a unified CDC. I see a whole government using everything they got to get one man elected. They're not worrying about other races in other counties. This is the one that they want. They did it for Abu Kamara. They did it for Sir Joseph. They can do it again, and I think that is the plan. I am not saying to you Dillion cannot win, but I'm saying to you CDC too can win. If you ask me, who do I want to win? I will say to you, I want Dillion to win. But my want, Dillion's want, your want, Vanisaki's want, CPP's want, the desire that this person should win is not what that wins election. What wins election, that work. What kind of work is Dillion doing? His team doing? If you compare what they're doing with what CDC doing, if you compare the resources they have to their disposal and what CDC has to its disposal, you have reason to believe that CDC is more than determined than they have ever been in their lifetime. Their mandate made Dillion one term. They had that mandate with Talia Ure, the one. They had that mandate with Sir Joseph, the one. They have all the money. They're using care violence. Morovia is hungry. The residents of Morovia, they are hungry. They have received money before and voted. So that possibility is hanging. It is a low-hanging fruit. Anybody can pick it. I am also saying we've had Robert Selly spending all the money he got whooped. Clemency, you were spending all the money he got whooped. What's his name? Vanish Shem was spending all the money he got whooped. And many others have spent money too in some districts and they got flogged. And so there is that possibility as well. People are hurting. Life is tough in Morovia. People who will be voting on the basis of wanting a better life might vote. But those who will be voting to identify with their political party, those who will be voting on the basis of cash, on the euphoria, will vote for what is driving them, thereby making this race a 50-50 race. So, Mr. Dillion, we have invited you several times through your chairman, Emmanuel Yato. Emmanuel Yato is here to deliver. Emmanuel Yato is a friend of mine, but he continued to fail us, citing schedule. But we see Dillion all the time. He's live. He's on other shows. But is the man right, though? I'm not saying because we invited Dillion, Dillion must be here. But we have been pursuing Dillion now for more than 4 months. Is he that busy? Wow, I didn't know senators can be that busy. I have a son here, and that one is taking us home. You have just watched the hour of politics here at Focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, we analyze, we debate the issues, and that's what we do. We have no side in the whole politics thing. Individually, we might decide who we prefer. That doesn't mean we are on that side. We just happen to have that preference like many of you do. I don't care about the politics. I just like to talk about it because I have made a decision that I will participate and contribute to my country, to be one of those who ask questions, who says something when it comes to the national conversation. And that is why some people come to say I'm an opposition guy. Some people come to say I'm on the side of the government. I'm telling you, I have no side. I have no side. I am part of the conversation. That is my side. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to join us next time. Bye-bye.
We all be right.